Welcome to the Daily Jing for Monday, March 6th. This is the week 11. Here's the quote of the day. Any man or woman who keeps working is not a failure. She may not be a great writer, but if she applies the old-fashioned virtues of hard, constant labor, he'll eventually make some kind of career for himself as a writer. Ray Bradbury. Let's go to the schedule. 11th week. We're starting the familiar essay 2, the fourth assignment, starting the Jameson discussion, the view and do 4.1, and we're starting the 4.2 view and do. Okay, let's go back to the notes. Here's some notes on the familiar essay 4. There is a not so subtle difference between the first familiar and the familiar essay and the second. In the first, you looked inward, and in the second, you are to look at a place or thing, so outward, that has meant something to you. The writer is always present in these two essays. In the first familiar essay, he or she is writing about self or other, and in the second familiar essay, that self is in the world and is reflected in the subject under examination. You will want to examine that reflection. Say you want to write about yourself as a worker. At the moment you work at the Gap. In the first familiar essay, you would use the job at the Gap as a starting off place to explore your experience as a worker throughout your life. Work as a condition, work as something you do, work as something that makes you who you are. You would write about work as it constructs self. You would write about how you work across a wide spectrum of jobs and activities. You would ask, who am I when I work? In the second familiar essay, if you wanted to write about work, you would concentrate on the place where you work, the Gap. In this essay, you would show us how your character interacts with all the other individuals that make up the Gap store experience. In this essay, you pull back from your experience as a Gap cashier and see the store ecosystem as a laboratory, a social scene, a bazaar. And in this way, you can bring in sources that talk about shopping, the modern mall, the clerk-customer relationship, the boss, etc. When you write this second paper, you might, by indirection, deal with many of the same issues you dealt with in the first work paper, work as identity, etc., for example. But in this paper, you see these things outside yourself, reflected in the place, the Gap, you are writing about. See what I mean? Okay, the question of the day, what essay are we starting today? We're starting the fourth essay, the second familiar essay. Okay, see you on Wednesday. Thanks. Bye.